So an entrepreneur basically is just not a businessman. An entrepreneur is someone who solves people's problems and attends their needs and also makes money at the same time. Out of boredom தான் வந்து சரி லாக்டவுனில் எவ்வளோ நேரம் நெட்ஃப்ளிக்ஸ் பார்க்குறது எவ்வளோ நேரம் அந்த 4 வால்குள்ளேயே இருக்கிறது because it's very most of the people I meet ask me the same question. Are you missing out on a lot? And I've asked the same question to the people I interview also. Those, teenagers and students. Most of our answers are similar.
Okay. What is that answer?
No. Everyone has insecurities. Everyone is feared of being judged. And I had that too. I still have it. But to me, I've just been convinced, been told by a lot of people, and I felt it myself too. You're doing what you like. I play some little role in trying to impact on someone's life.
Hey Ritz viewers, today I have a multifaceted person with me. I have Hasini with me. Hello, vanakkam.
Hi.
எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
நான் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருக்கேன். நீங்க எப்படி இருக்கீங்க?
I'm good. And when I went through your profile, you had like lot of things to, எனக்கு அதுல வந்து நிறைய விஷயம் I felt very new. It was very exciting to see like how can a person at this age do all these things simultaneously. So first let me start with that. So how do you wear so many hats at the same time and எப்படி மேனேஜ் பண்றீங்க இந்த எல்லா ரோல்ஸையும்?
To be very honest, எனக்கே தெரியாது. I've tried a lot of things people suggest. இப்படி டைம் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் பண்ணு, அப்படி டைம் மேனேஜ்மெண்ட் பண்ணு. ஈவன் people I look up to, பெரிய entrepreneurs, public speakers எல்லாமே, டைம் டேபிள், schedules, nothing just worked for me. So I've always been like a go with the flow person, still am. And the lockdown I started my journey, and because lockdown yarum class attend pannala, and
you had a lot of time.
I had like a lot of time to work on it. And then lockdown mudinja I started 9th grade. Ipo 10th mudinjiruken. 9th ஆரம்பிக்கும்போது தான் கொஞ்சம் கஷ்டமா இருந்தது because full time school na ஒரு CBSE student. So it got more harder to prioritize a lot of things. So that's when எனக்கு ஒரு motto or whatever, like just ஒரு choice was to prioritize things and not ரொம்ப procrastinate. இப்போ அது முடிக்கணும்னா அது முடிச்சிடணும், இப்போ இதுதான் படிக்கணும்னா படிச்சு முடிச்சிடணும், if I have to get some work done, do it. And then நம்மளுக்கே தோணும்ல we overdoing things, now stop, take a break. So there's always been my thing. I never really would recommend that you do timetables and schedules or whatever, but that's again your preference. எனக்கு வரல, நான் விட்டுட்டேன்.
So இதுல வந்து which was very new to me was this social entrepreneur. So I've never like heard of it much, at least in my thing I've never heard of it much. So can you take me through what is social entrepreneur?
So an entrepreneur basically is just not a businessman. An entrepreneur is someone who solves people's problems and attends their needs and also makes money at the same time.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
So that is a simple way to differentiate an entrepreneur and a businessman, in my opinion at least. And a social entrepreneur is someone who would work for the development or the betterment of the society. So I as a social entrepreneur, I work on youth empowerment. So for youth betterment, empowering youth with a social motto or a social goal to also brand it. So it's similar to what you would call an NGO.
Okay. So who introduced these things to you? Because you were so young when you started.
I didn't know either.
Right. I didn't know all these time, and only after going through your profile, it's like I was so curious about this. So who introduced things to you?
To be very honest, it was curiosity, which introduced me to everything that I know today. I out of boredom தான் வந்து சரி லாக்டவுனில் எவ்வளோ நேரம் நெட்ஃப்ளிக்ஸ் பார்க்குறது எவ்வளோ நேரம் அந்த 4 வால்குள்ளேயே இருக்கிறது because it's very new to me, right? I've been always an active kid who wants to run around and speak and always like the first one to answer in the class and all of that. So when I was to be confiscated ஒரே இடத்துல, I didn't have another choice but screen time, and then I got bored of it after a point, like all of us would have. So appada I wanted to do something productive. I started my venture and all of that. I started interviewing young achievers அதாவது child prodigies. அவங்கள இன்டர்வியூ பண்ண ஒன்னொன்னா you obviously get to know what they're doing, and அந்த ஸ்டோரிஸில் கேப்டிவேட் ஆகி ஐ வாண்டட் டு எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் என்னோட பொட்டென்ஷியல் என்னன்னு கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சம் ஒன் லெட் டு அன் அதர் திங். அண்ட் டெட் டாக்ஸ் பார்த்து நிறைய இவெண்ட்ஸ் போய் பிராண்ட் இவெண்ட்ஸ் அந்த மாதிரி கொஞ்சம் கொஞ்சமாக போய் அகேன் ஒன் லெட் டு அன் அதர் திங். அண்ட் they're probably the only reason why I got to learn so much, why I am to myself today. So yeah.
And I'm trying to understand this generations, like say the teens right now. So you get connected to them a lot, right? So can you tell me how does it, like, do they have a balanced life? Because you meet a lot of people at your age, you talk to a lot of people. Trying to understand what thoughts go into these teen minds abindrathu. So can you tell me how do they balance their routines? Because there's a lot of social pressure nowadays. So how do they even lead their life, balance their life with all this?
I mean, most of the people I meet ask me the same question. Are you missing out on a lot? How do you plan your things? Do you think that you're, do you feel incomplete about something, right? And I've asked the same question to the people I interview also, those, teenagers and students. And most of our answers are similar.
Okay. What is that answer?
No.
No. Okay.
We still feel the same way. And it's just that we are going a step ahead to do what we love. And it is with all interest that we want to pursue it. And when you have interest in something you're doing, it doesn't feel like an effort or a burden. So it's as simple as that. And balanced life can mean different things to different people, especially teenagers. It can mean, having a good, fitness structure, having a healthy life, leading a healthy lifestyle, getting, academic growth, personal growth, and all of that. To me, having a balanced life is being able to do what you love and not restrict yourself within, your comfort zone. So, and I think I've been having a balanced life if it was in that case. And that is only because I have this curiosity to learn and explore more. And again, balanced life can mean different things to different people. But in my opinion, if they feel like they're not having a balanced life, they're probably just still in their nutshell and not, popping out of their comfort zone. So, yeah.
When we talk to a lot of celebrities, like a lot of them has told us during the interviews that at the early stage, அப்போ அவங்க ஸ்கூலில் சின்னதுலலாம் படிக்கும் போது it was very tough to get friends. Sometimes it's been opposite also. But ஒரு ஃபேமஸாக இருக்கும் போதோ இல்லை வந்து when we tend to know a lot of things than the other children, they don't find it easy to connect with other friends. So உங்க கேஸில் சொல்லுங்க, do you have a lot of friends at school, or like அங்கே ஏதாச்சும் ஒரு barrier இருக்கா to be friendly around?
Actually, I don't know about the others' case. Mine is very weird. I've always been a social extrovert in the room, and all that. And then I had my teenage phase, wanted to be quiet in my own kutty circle and all. I've had all of my teenage phases and all. But when I started in the journey, my first thought was not to tell it to my friends. And I never did. For the first, 6 months or so.
Oh.
One of my friends did figure it out. I wasn't famous to begin with. ஆரம்பிக்கும்போது obviously no one can அப்படியே get famous, right? You have to put in a lot of effort behind it. And on the stage, one of my friends figured it out, and then she told me that what is here to shy away? And then that was kind of a breaking point. She did tell me a lot, but centered she told me. And then since then, I've just tried to own it, feel proud about it, embrace it, and all of that. And once you get, known and recognized for what you're doing, there is another challenge to it. People want to be friends with you for the sake of you doing things you do. So that has been, I won't say it's hard, but it's confusing. And it puts someone in pressure to think what the others think about you. And I have that insecurity too. I'm not trying to be this perfect kid here, but like, everyone has insecurities. Everyone is feared of being judged. And I had that too. I still have it. But to me, I've just been convinced, been told by a lot of people, and I felt it myself too. You're doing what you like. Who cares? So I do have a lot of friends who do encourage me to, do more, but we don't talk about, our work and all of that. So like when we have to, we do, but like most of the times it's kept aside. We just carry on with however it was before. Yeah, it's still the same. Nothing really changed except for the fact that,
A lot of people know you now.
yeah.
Right. Okay. And coming to the TEDx talks. So usually வந்து TEDx பேசுறவங்கலாம் வந்து they'll have a very strong story behind, or அவங்களோட years of experience ஜாஸ்தி இருக்கும், and or they'll have a very moving story, and ஏதாச்சும் ஒன்று லைஃப்பில் ஒரு பாதிப்பு அந்த மாதிரிலாம் இருந்திருக்கும். பட் வென் யூ டாக், ஸோ நீங்கள் வந்து மற்றவங்களை இன்ஸ்பயர் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்ற ஒரு விஷயம்காக பேசுகிறீங்களே, ஸோ where do you get your inspiration from?
Again, it's the same thing. I get it from the people I interviewed, I wrote about. It was all the child prodigies. I don't know why. நான் இந்த initiative start பண்ணும்போது my aim was that அவங்கள பார்த்து மற்ற ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் டீனேஜர்ஸ் or whomever should get inspired and also start their journeys young and explore at a young age. அந்த comfort zone, insecurities எல்லாம் break பண்ணி இவங்க ஒரு motivation, it'd be a kick start, right? ஏன்னா there is this say that the first step is the hardest one to place. So on the push I wanted to give, and then I didn't know, somewhere through the timeline I started, taking a lot of inspiration from them, and I was a live example to it. So that was the main inspiration for me as well. And என்னோட TED Talks, I wanted it to be more relevant to people, because I am a normal student who goes to CBSE school, who has the same problems as, every teenager faces in the society, and I go through the same thing, and I enjoy it the same way the other people do. So it's not some very bold story, but a different one.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's some relevant one, which all of us can relate to. So
Right.
that was the main figure as to what I wanted to portray.
Nice. And after hearing your speeches or the contents and all that, have you, like, அதோட சக்ஸஸே வந்து when it changes lives இல்லையா, யாரோட எங்கேயோ ஒரு சேஞ்ச் நடந்திருக்கு ஒருத்தங்களுக்கு அப்படின்றது தான் இந்த விஷயத்தோட சக்ஸஸாக இருக்க முடியும். ஸோ உங்களுக்கு அந்த மாதிரி have people like reached you saying that, your content have changed my life or whatever, there was a moment அப்படின்ற
That
மாதிரி?
did happen.
Oh, it did. Okay.
So I mean, initially obviously you can't,
Yeah,
but
it will take.
we had a belief that yes, it's happening somewhere in some house. Some teenager, felt a spark and all of that. I was writing for a newspaper previously, and அந்த இன்டர்வியூல ஒரு ஆத்தர் பற்றி பார்த்து ஒரு பையன் இன்ஸ்பயர் ஆகி he wrote a book. So then he reached out to me. We interviewed him as well. அவனை பற்றி அடுத்த article was there on Hindu.
Wow.
So that really kind of made it all worth it to see that it's coming lively, it's happening, that I've been able to, I play some little role in trying to impact on someone's life.
So you started at the age of 12, right? So in the 12 years அப்புறம் தான் வந்து it's a very crucial period for students, they say, because it's their higher secondaries, academics எல்லாம். So every parent want their kid to concentrate on studies. So how was it in your house? So when you started all this, when you were like, doing multiple things, what did they say and how do they support you?
Well, I'll put it forward. I am konjam nerdy kind of.
Okay.
So for me, more than my parents, I put pressure on myself to get good grades. So, and just not my house, teachers and school as well. I mean, it's not been a big problem. I've never been put into pressure to score. It's just me, naane vantu, I kind of try to suffocate myself to concentrate and give my best shot in everything. I don't want to be lazy or give up on something just because na innora or vishayam pandrendradhukaga pannite irukadha, I don't want to, give up on that. So that has always been there on my mind, and I try to keep like decent score, 80 and above. Always.
That's a very good score.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I take it as a compliment. And appa amma, whole family indeed has been very supportive to it, because they'll still understand if I have to be somewhere before ஒரு நாள் முன்னாடி exam, they'll drive me around, get me back home, stay up until the night until I'm done studying, so that ensuring that I'm not sleeping. So I mean, எல்லா householdலயும் நடக்கிறது தான். And if there is one thing that I have to say, எல்லாரும் சொல்றது தான், don't just try to rush it up in the last minute. I think that really helped. ஏன்னா if நான் அது பண்ணோன்னா then நான் கண்டிப்பா ஃபெயில் ஆயிருப்பேன். ஸோ தட் இஸ் தேர். அண்ட் நல்ல மார்க் எடுக்கிறதுனால தான் டீச்சர்ஸும் கொஞ்சம் வெளில விட்டு ஐ ஜஸ்ட் டோன்ட் டூ ஒர்க் அண்ட் ஸ்கூல். ஐ ஆல்சோ அட்டெண்ட் லாட் ஆஃப் கல்ச்சுரல்ஸ். ஸோ ஐவ் நெவர் ரியலி பீன் இன் கிளாஸ். கொஞ்சம் செல்ஃப் ஸ்டடி, டியூஷன் அப்படியே கொஞ்சம் ஓட்டிட்டு இருக்கேன்.
ஸோ ட்ரூலி அ மல்டிஃபெசேட்டட் கேர்ள் தான் நீங்கள்.
ஐ லைக் டு டூ அ லாட் ஆஃப் திங்ஸ்.
நைஸ். அண்ட் ஸோ இது வரைக்கும் வந்து யூ ஹவ் சீன் லாட் ஆஃப் திங்ஸ் அட் திஸ் ஏஜ் ப்ராப்ளி. லைக் you've met lot of people, you have interviewed lot of people, you have represented lot of things. So where do you see yourself after this? So what is your vision, or like what do you want to do it in the future?
Even way before that, you know, I had all of these titles or, you know, reputation or whatever. I wanted to empower the youth. This always be the vision.
அது எங்கே ஸ்ட்ரைக் ஆச்சு? வேர் டிட் யூ கெட் தட் ஸ்பார்க்? லைக் ஏதாச்சும் ஒன்று நம்ம வந்து பார்த்துருப்போம் இல்லை கேட்டிருப்போம் தட் யூ வானா லைக் யூனோ ரியலி புல் தெம் அவுட் ஆர் புல் தெம் அப் அப்படின்றது வேர் அந்த ஸ்பார்க் எங்கேருந்து வந்தது?
I myself and everyone right now, right? All of us have some kind of potential or talent in us. Bathroom singers can be really good singers too, you never know, right? So, and they just never want to come out because there's a lot of insecurities which keep them in, right? For people it could be fear of judgment, for people it could be fear of not getting enough support or sufficient support, for people it could be, you know, peer pressure, for people it could be that you're not good at academics but you could be good at something else, right? So there's a lot of factors to it which make them not want to come out. And when I see contradicting situations of people who live life by doing what they like, I can see that they wouldn't regret it after they turn 40 for getting a degree they never wanted to do, and though they're earning money, you know, are settled and having a good family and all of it, they'll have some regret that they didn't choose a path of interest that they had in their young age. And இன்னொரு ஃபேக்டர் என்னன்னா, இன்னைக்கு நிறைய ஆப்பர்ச்சுனிட்டிஸ் இருக்குது. யூ கேன் மேக் மனி அவுட் ஆஃப் எனிதிங். தட் இஸ் பாசிபிள். Because there's a lot of opportunities, it can be confusing for you know, a lot of people to decide what they want to do also. So I think that kind of made me want to feature the stories of these people so that the others can venture out and understand, figure out their own personality out of hearing stories of the young prodigies. That was like the main inspiration. And இதெல்லாம் வந்துட்டு லாக்டவுனில் டக்குன்னு ஏதோ ரேண்டமாக தோணுன ஐடியா, and like one led to another thing again. It just happened to fall in place correctly. So
you were meant to do all this.
Maybe the stars were aligned, I don't know.
What's the future plan for you?
Future plan, again, build the brand konjam. I am actually working on a magazine, my own, the company run magazine called Guiding Young Minds. So we have freelancers, about 15 to 20 students there who are working on it from all over the country. So yeah, we do it online, and then இப்போ printed editions, it's going to schools. So there is this, every school they have this budget called NIE, newspapers kaga. So they're supposed to provide newspapers every day to students. Adukku they collect money from the students and the fund raise panni they provide the newspapers. I want to replace that newspapers with these magazines because hardly people read newspapers today, right? So ana in the magazine, it's a monthly magazine, so there's stories of young achievers only. Adula new content every month, and adoda konjam fun do's we try to add, right? Konjam nutritional benefit, I mean what you call balanced basically, so that it can be fun for them to read as well. So on the magazine I want to replace it with the NIE budget, which is comparatively the same price only, and this will be more helpful as well. And this is a much creative idea for which should reach, you know, the students. So I want to do it in a much bigger scale. So that is probably my future aspiration for what I see myself doing in some years. Apart from that, I want to be a better social entrepreneur, be a better public speaker, and you know, just venture out more.
So in this process, like have you ever felt like ஒருவேளை நம்ம இதெல்லாம் வந்து கொஞ்சம் கம்மியாக பண்ணலாமா, இல்லை வந்து சில விஷயங்கள் வந்து இதனால உங்களுக்கு கிடைக்காம போயிருக்கு. அந்த மாதிரி ஏதாவது have you felt like have you lost something in this journey? Like the success is big, but have you felt or regretted on anything?
I don't know if how many people will admit this. I've had breakdowns. Everyone does. And when you initially start, எந்த யாருனாலுமே ஈவன் செலிப்ரிட்டிஸ் பி இட் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ், நீங்கள் எதுவுமே பண்ணல அகாடமிக்ஸில் தான் ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணுறீங்கனாலும் when you overdo things, you're obviously going to be in a shell where you're pressured. So there is going to be some break point where you're going to shatter and oh, I can't do this anymore. That has always been there. But I feel like the only thing I lost was my the previous self who was insecure and not wanting to do things, which I'm happy about.
Yes,
Because
it's a
now
good
I
loss.
know, yeah, it was the thing which had to be loosed. So I think that is a great thing, because now I can pursue things I prefer. I know what I like, and I have stability as to how I want my life to be, which a lot of people lack. And it is true, right? Even people who are 50 would feel like, you know what, I've not done enough. Even I feel that. But I at least know what I want to do, which I don't think a lot of people know. So that's probably the only lost possession. Regret, I don't really regret anything I do, be it even I know that wasn't healthy for me. I don't usually regret things, try to take the good out of it.
Nice. So it's so good to see you like having a clarity about
Thank
your
you.
life, clarity about things, what you do, and you also want to bring that clarity in many lives. So I understood that from this conversation. I'm so glad because we never had people to show or guide us properly through like what we should do or what can be done. But it's good to see that you are guiding the young minds here, and my best wishes for you, and looking forward to you'll have to achieve a lot more, and
Thank you for
best
having
wishes
me.
for all your plans.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining.